Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. I'm going to split off a majority of the base, or not a majority, I'm going to split off a good bit of the base to be uncolored. This fragrance oil discolors to tan. By the time the discoloration occurs, I'm hoping it's going to look like a saddle or like a, stressed leather appearance. So we're going to see how this works. I'm going to pour the lye water solution into our oils and we'll get started. Now I am soaping pretty cool today. My oils and lye solution are both room temp, so they're pretty cool because we keep our house like a meat locker. So yeah. Alright, I'm just going to blend this up, and once we reach emulsion, then I will split off some for the accent color. Okay, let's split off our accent color. I'm going to pour a good bit in here. I think I'm going to do this copper and leave the majority, do the majority copper and leave the accent plain. I think that. Sorry y'all, I have like changed my mind on this design about 20 times. Over exaggeration. At least 3. It's like I get one thing stuck in my head and then I'm like, ooh, you know what would be better? So I start doing something completely different than what I originally planned, and I'm like, come on Melissa, just stick with the plan. Just go with the plan. I call it on the fly soaping. Oh gracious. So what I'm doing here, I just took a little bit of the Cappuccino colored mica and I dispersed it in olive oil. I don't want a whole lot of extra oil in this soap, but I'm going to try to do something kind of cool with this. Alright, so we're leaving this portion uncolored. This portion is going to have, yeah, we'll try this. This portion is going to have the copper. Let's get this in here. And even though this one doesn't, the fragrance is not supposed to accelerate, I just want to like hand stir this in just to be certain, because I mean I know it's going to be a little clumpy with the mica and everything, so I am going to actually go back and stick blend it, but I just wanted to get it started with the spoon. I'm hoping this works out with this copper. I'm not sure how the copper and the tan, once I put the fragrance oil in here, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to react with the copper. So we'll see. It's probably going to be pretty interesting. Okay, now I can go in here with my spatula because I've got to put the fragrance oil in. All right. So the majority's going in there. I've got a little bit going in here. I'm hoping it doesn't turn this one orange. But we shall see. Oh, this smells so good. It definitely smells like leather. I'm not even gonna lie. It smells really good. I'm definitely a leather kind of person. Alright, so I'm actually going to give this a little zhuzh. I'm going to pour some of this in here just to make it a little bit easier to work with. Okay. So now I have this one. I'm going to pour some of this color here. Some here. Not a whole lot. Okay, and then I'm going to take my mica. I'm going to drop just a tad in there. I said I don't want a whole lot in here, but I want it to give a little more definition to, you know, kind of the design I'm going for. Okay, so I'm going to use this little towel. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Use this towel here to kind of prop up my mold, if it'll, there we go. Can you guys see? I'll make sure y'all can see. Might be a little difficult. There we go. So what I'm going to attempt to do is just pour down the side here and very carefully I don't want this to go over the sides of this little pitcher, and it will. So I have to be very careful. I may not talk too much during this. And I'm going a little bit slower than normal, so it may be a little wavy, but that's okay. We're gonna get a really cool pattern out of this, I'm hoping. So I'm just gonna run back and forth. Until I start running out of that bronze color, and then I'll put a little bit more of it in here. So this actually is the, well, the thin line pour or the wood grain technique. It's just a matter of how you cut it as to your end result, as far as how your bars look. It makes really cool patterns. And it does. It just looks like wood planks, and it's so cute. I wonder if you guys can see better if I do it this way. Yes, no, maybe. Let me know in the comments. Is it better straight on like this or from the side? I think it's easier for me to work with it from the side instead of like this, but I want to know how it looks to you guys. You like the side view better or just straight on like this? So I'm gonna smack this down, which it's, I mean, I kind of hate to do that because I know it's gonna mess up that design a little bit. Sorry for y'all's ears. I know it's kind of harsh, but the soap musteth be smacketh downeth. Especially when it's set up like this anyway. So I do not want big, huge air pockets in there, which, you know, I do get them occasionally, especially when the batter sets up and I don't, you know, smack it on the counter hard enough or I forget to. You kind of like mica drizzle on here, but I'm gonna try. This mica's really thin. I think I made it way too thin, honestly. Man, I'm not using my pipette that I normally use either, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. That does look kind of cool though. Kind of looks like the fine, intricate. This doesn't look intricate, of course, but you know, the fine, intricate details that they have on, like leather, cannot talk again today. Leather saddles. Any leather work for that matter. And they make the belts and all kinds of leather work. I've seen some really, really beautiful leather work with stamping and dyeing the leather. We used to do quite a lot of that when my son was in the Scouts. It was really fun. It was really fun to play with all the leather stamps, or all the stamping stuff. We did use leather, but I think that dark mica in there actually gives it, you know, that appearance. It's a little wonky right there. I think I got a little bit too much, but that's okay. But yeah, I think it looks, I think that makes it look really good. And with it being a leather fragrance, I think that's kind of perfect. So, all right, so here's the top. Not all that great. But I think the inside will look really, really cool. I'm interested to see what it's going to look like. All right. So this is Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. This is going to be in our June designer men's collection. It will be available, I think it's, I'll have to go and check my calendar on the exact date for the release, but that will be mentioned down in the description box of this video and all the future ones for this month. So you guys will definitely know. Just go down the description box and look down there and it'll have all the information for when the actual release date is. But I believe it's around somewhere the 1st through the 7th of June. It'll be that first Saturday in June, I believe. So, all right, guys, we're done. Bye. Hey guys, Melissa again from Bella the Bath. Welcome back to the channel. So we're actually on soap 2 today. I just got through cutting the Old Spice soap. There you go. Pretty cool. I like it a lot. Show you these real quick. And oh, y'all, I can't even explain. That smell is so amazing. Okay, so back to soap 2. This is the Tuscan Leather type by Tom Ford. This is the side of it. Look at that. Look at that. It looks like mountain ranges out in the desert. See the bottom? Ooh. Cool beans, huh? There's the top. And there's the other side. See if I can get some of that glare off so you can actually see it. Look at how cool that is.
Smells like leather in here.
Right? Look, it looks like a mountain range or something in the desert.
That totally looks like Arizona.
That looks really cool. Okay. All right. So we're going to cut this one. Let's see here, y'all. Y'all. All right. Here we go. Oh my gosh, y'all. Oh, This pattern is so cool. A Minidale, please. Oh my gosh. Sorry, our little baby husky is carrying his little food bowl around, saying, "It's time for you to feed me. I just woke up from my nap." So yeah, he carries this little bowl around in his mouth and plops it down on the ground and makes a huge crashing noise. Symbols. So yeah, this soap, the fragrance that's in this soap should discolor to a tan. So these light bits that you see right here will actually darken up a little bit. Oh, that's pretty. I love that mica in there though. Where I just poured the mica mixed with the oil into the rest of the soap batter. And it made the little veins in there, kind of like marble or smoke or something. It looks really neat. Looks like when they stain leather for saddles and belts and stuff. You know, you have some areas that are darker than others. It like makes it more defined or something. But yeah, these, if you like the smell of leather, this smells amazing. It smells just like leather, and it actually has a little bit of a smoky scent to it as well. A little bit. It's not a whole lot. Like it's not campfire smoke, but it does have a little bit of a smokiness to it. These patterns in here, wow. That looks really, really good. I do wish I would have had a little bit more of the uncolored batter for the top. Maybe the next time if I make this one again, I'll do that. I'll kind of switch it up a little bit. Oh, it looks so, it almost looks like tree roots, like going through the ground. That is really, really neat. I'm liking this one. And again, if I would have cut this one, differently, like instead of cutting it like this, like I did, if I would have turned the whole loaf like this and cut it, it would have looked more like a wood grain pattern. But I just don't have the patience to hand cut these. I don't have a single wire soap cutter yet. I went for the multi-bar because I just knew, like, production wise, I had to get, you know, these soaps cut quickly. And me sitting there cutting each one of them, you know, cutting them one by one with a big, huge, like, chef's knife, it just wasn't getting it. So I opted for the multi-bar cutter. And but I'll have to get me one of the single wires, and when I have one of the single wire cutters, I'll come back and do an actual wood grain soap so you guys can see what it looks like. It's actually pretty neat. It looks like planks of wood, like you had taken, you know, chopped a tree, and you know, when you just slice the planks of wood, you can see all the grain and the knots and all the detail of the wood. And when you do the soap this way and cut it the alternate way, it actually looks like that. So your soap will look like wood grain. So I think that's pretty nifty. And I will be trying that very soon. I just, for this one, this isn't a woodsy scent, and I just wanted it to be more reminiscent of leather than of wood, so that's the reason I opted to cut it this way too. But you can, I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up or not, but there is a little bit of the discoloration already starting on the end of this one. It's kind of going more yellow, but that should over time turn to the tan color. and it'll give you a little bit of, so you'll have like a light tan, and then you'll have this darker tan up here with these dark smoky lines running through it. So it'll be really interesting looking here in a couple of weeks. Sometimes discoloration is more immediate, and other times it takes a lot longer. It could be, you know, months before these actually reach like full discoloration, but by then, you know, you'll use the bar, obviously. So yeah, just really sorry if you guys can hear that. That's the lawnmower in the background. But yeah, sometimes the discoloration takes a little bit longer, and you never really get to see the full aspect of it because you use the bar before it's, you know, completely done its thing. And then other times it's like, as soon as you pour the fragrance into the soap batter, you can see a very apparent color change or discoloration right then. And other times it's, you know, maybe it doesn't happen until the next day or two. When you go to cut it, you'll go, you know, you'll see that the outside of the loaf looks a little bit darker, and then you cut the inside and you've got like this almost like a picture frame all the way around your soap bar, and the inside will be lighter. And they're like, what's wrong with my soap? You know, cool design, but how did that happen? And it's just the fragrance oil, and it just, you know, the rate at which it discolors, or that you can see the discoloration is going to be different. So, but it's just really neat to play around with discoloration and see how it does with different, you know, fragrances and colorants, and just over time. It's just really neat to watch. I've done a lot of testing with fragrances, and a couple of fragrance companies, they'll send you, you know, samples that you can, you know, they want you to test, and you have to look for acceleration, rising, separation, discoloration, all that good stuff. And you'll have to, you know, document all of those things and send them the videos of it. And done a couple of those, but it's generally good always when you get a new fragrance to, you know, read on the manufacturer's website, read the actual notes that they have for, you know, because a lot of times they will have the testing notes there. Lucifer, stop. A lot of times they will have the testing notes on the website as to, you know, hey, this fragrance rises or it discolors. They'll have all the notes there and safe usage rates and all that stuff. So it's nice to go and check with them and see what they found first. But even so, every recipe is going to be different. Might not be a whole lot of difference, but it will be different. And the fragrance oil might act completely different for you than it does for someone else. So it's always nice to, before you run a big batch like these, to make, you know, a little 1 pound batch or even a 1 bar batch, just to test out your fragrances and your colorants. It's a good thing to do that to your colorants as well. Because some companies out there are like, you never know. If you go with a reliable company, it's not that much of an issue, but sometimes people just don't know, and they, you know, get their colorants from Amazon or some of these really, I don't want to say unknown sources, but you never really know where it's coming from. If you know, get it on Amazon, it could just be some seller, you know, and they're not supplying FDA approved colorants. And that's a big no-no. We need FDA approved colorants in our cosmetics and soap, and you know, we need to know that they're skin safe and they're not gonna like make you grow a 3rd arm or, you know, something like that. So it's always nice to check out that stuff before you start, but it's always a good thing to test them, your colorants and your fragrances, to see what they'll do. And even then, you still get surprises sometimes. So I've gotten several surprises. Lucifer, Amenadiel. Oh, my fur baby and my grand fur baby. They are acting out right now. So I'm going to let you guys go. But I enjoyed you being here with me. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave me a thumbs up. Amenadiel. Leave me a thumbs up if you like the content. Hit the notification bell. Please put your ball down. Okay, bye.